Hello guys, how are you doing? Let me trust you're doing good. Today, I am going to teach you how to test the capacitors, the SMD capacitors within the laptop motherboard. Uh, Laptop motherboard, they use three common types of capacitors, which are very common. In most of the time, we find these capacitors in any laptop motherboard. However, there are some capacitors which are rarely used, but some are mostly used in each and every laptop motherboard. You find this capacitor. So the most commonly used capacitors in the laptop motherboard, we have what's called MLCC capacitor. MLCC capacitors are these types of capacitors. They don't have the polarities. They don't have the capacity. I believe you see this. There's like they're like yellowish in color or beige. I don't know which color is that. You know, man, most of the time we are the color blind. Uh, Human being in the planet. So I don't know which color is this. So these are the MLCC capacitors. There are thousands and thousands within the motherboard. And each and every motherboard, you'll find them. They have the MLCC capacitor. There is no any laptop motherboard which doesn't have the MLCC capacitor. Generally, these MLCC capacitors, sometimes we call them ceramic capacitors. You can see them. There are so many. Apart from MLCC capacitor, which is commonly used, another capacitor which is all uh, regularly found in a laptop motherboard is what's called tantalum capacitor. Tantalum capacitor is this type of capacitor. Can you see this? Yes. We have the black one, you have the yellow one, we have the black one, but it has some whitish writings on top. It has the polarity. This one has the polarity. The MLCC doesn't have the polarity, but once you solder it on the motherboard, you'll have one particular side of it connecting to the power. That will be the positive line. Then to the other side of it, which connects to the ground, will become the negative. But once you have the MLCC capacitor desoldered from the motherboard, it doesn't have the what? It doesn't have the polarity. But this one, it has the direction. As you can see, the top side of it, it is it has a different color, different design. So that means that particular side is the positive. So they are very common, and most of them they are placed around the CPU. As you can see for this one, this motherboard have only one. This motherboard have only one. That tells you that one is rarely used. Unlike the ceramic, there are so many. There are so many within that motherboard. What about this one? This other motherboard it also has the tantalum capacitor. As you can see, this one. And the capacity for that, the capacitance of it is written on the top. You can see this one is written at 330. The other one is written to 20. So the other one is the same as this one inside. This is also another tantalum capacitor. As you can see, this side. So meaning here is the positive. The ceramic doesn't have the polarities as I told you. Then apart from the ceramic and the tantalum, so here again we have the tantalum. These are the tantalum capacitors. Yes, you could find the yellow one. Then others, you have the whitish one, the black with the white writings like this one. Can you see this? This is also another tantalum capacitor. You have this white one, this big white. This is ceramic. This is MLCC capacitor. It has some layers like plates which are not connected. That's why they are called multi-layer. They have some layers within it. Then, apart from that, finally, we have another capacitor which is rarely used. And when it is used, it is found in the old models of the laptops. This capacitor here, this capacitor is called electrolytic capacitor. This is called electrolytic capacitor, or another name is chemical capacitor. It contains chemical in it. Then this side, which is written with which is having some colors, that side is the negative. Yes, whenever there is a color, it could be bluish, reddish, blackish, or whichever the color, that is the negative side. This bigger portion, which is not having any color, which is not painted, is the positive side. Now let's see how to test them. Testing the capacitors. There are two ways. You could be testing the capacitance of it, or you want to test whether it is shorted to the ground or not. So let's start with testing to the ground. When you want to test the capacity if it is if it is connected to the ground, you have your meter, your digital multimeter. Make sure that your digital multimeter is calibrated or pointing at the direction where there is a continuity mode. Yes. Make sure your digital multimeter is connected to the continuity mode. The continuity mode is this mode where you have a bell icon. So the calibration which has a bell icon, that is the continuity mode. That mode will show you whether the points are connected to each other. In short, it shows you the continuation. So for me, as you can see, I have a bell icon there. So that is the continuity mode. So in my continuity mode, sorry for that, let me just, there's something I'm missing. I don't know where I misplaced it. But anyway, let's proceed. Sorry for that. So in my continuity mode, what am I doing? When I place my props against each other, some other people think that I am checking whether the digital multimeter is working. No, I know it's working. That's why I'm using it. So what I am looking is the baseline. I want to establish the baseline for the continuity. For me, I can see it is reading 0.2. So any readings which I'll get, which is coming close to that, which tells me there is continuity, right? Yes. And in capacitors are always connected, the one side connecting to the ground and the other side connecting to the power. What does that tells you? It tells you sides of the capacitor. When you put the probes against the capacitors, they should not peep. Not only peeping, you should not have low resistance. You know, sometimes maybe your meter doesn't have this the ringing. Uh, Maybe it's not able to ring or to peep. So what you need to check is the readings. So let's start with what? Let's start with the chemical capacitors because there are not so many. The chemical capacitors I have this one, which is having the blackish negative. Then I have this one which is having the reddish negative. So I said we are putting the probes against the side of the capacitor. So this side and this side. As you can see, positive to negative is OL. OL mean open line. Open line mean no continuity, right? Can you see? OL, open line. So it means we don't have a problem there. What about this one? That one still OL. OL means no continuity, which is good. What about this? Still OL. OL means open line. If not OL, you could find that it is reading some match values. You see? Yes. If not OL, you will find that it is reading over kilo ohms. It's reading the ohms in terms of kilo ohms. So when it is kilo ohm, still it means good. There is no less resistance. That kilo ohms are too much resistance. It means they are not even connected. Nice. So that is how the capacitor should behave. However, I want you to notice when you have the capacitors around the CPU, it will be a different case. Around the CPU, it will peep. You will find that they peep, but they have some resistance. That resistance is the readings, the resistance from the CPU. I wish we had a chemical capacitor around the CPU for this, but we don't. So those are the only chemical capacitors which I have at the moment. The rest of the motherboard doesn't have the chemical capacitors. Yes, I can't see any other motherboard which is having the chemical capacitor. Hmm. There is none. Anyway, so let's check another capacitor. That is the tantalum capacitor. So my next test is the tantalum capacitor. Tantalum capacitor, I told you, most of them are found around the CPU. Why? Because they have a large capacity. They have larger capacities, meaning they are more efficient. They are more efficient, more strong, so they ensure maximum security, maximum protection of the chipsets. That's why they are mostly preferred for that around the CPU there. That's why most of them are found around the CPU. With this one, can you see this? Can you hear the peeping? Okay, if you're not hearing, at least I'm telling you, it peeps. But it does 40.9, that is 41 what? Ohms. And what was our short? The baseline was 0.02 or zero point 0.2, yeah? Yes, those was the short. But this one, 41. So it has resistance, eh? Yes, it has resistance. To get the actual resistance, it will be 41 or 40.9 minus 0.2. You will get the actual reading for that capacitor. So this one, we say this motherboard has only one. What about this one? Here is another one. Here is another one. So let's check the capacitors for this. The capacitors for this is reading how much? 13 ohms. 13 ohms. That is good. Baseline 0.2. 13 ohms. That's good. If the readings was almost 0 or 2.1 or 2, that is too low, or even below 5. That's too low. And what could that interpret to? It will mean the CPU is shorted. Eh? Yes, when you have very low resistance, yes, I know we should have some resistance, but not as low as less than 5. Right? Yes. As you can see, this track, and you see this track, it's going directly into the CPU, and you have the capacitors there. These capacitors ensures maximum protection for the CPU. However, when they are shorted, they short the CPU automatically. Can see that again? 18.4. And our baseline was 0.2. Nice. So, those are tantalum capacitors. What about this one? Here's another motherboard, which also have the tantalum capacitors there. The tantalum capacitor side to side, 4.6. Now, this one is questionable. Though it's not, it's also good. It's good. Our baseline was 0.4. So, correction. The other one, this one. This one was having 13 ohms. Here, I told you it should not go below 5. Let me correct that. Below 5 again could be good, depending on the resistance from that CPU. Then, let's say below 2. Below 2, below 2, yes, below 2 is the problem. Yes, if it is below 2, there's an issue. Even 3. 3 is still questionable. Yes. This one, resistance for this, 3.1. So this CPU is very questionable. Yes, somehow, so this one, it could be a partial short within the CPU. This one could, you see it's 2.9. So this one is questionable. At least if I was still at 4 and or 4 constant, that one, like this one. You see this 4.1 and this one almost 3, below 3, that is 2. And the other one was 4 point something. So meaning these two supplies, these two power supply, they are supplying power to different locations. So meaning the area which this one is applying power to is having an issue. Or these components which are having this line, there's a very small component of there's something which is partially shorting that line to the ground. That's why we have less resistance. Then this one's the same case like the other one which was having 13 ohms. Let's see this one have how many? Higher. Can you see this? This one is having 2.8 ohms. This one is again, this is a problem. This is a problem. I believe you know why. That resistance is too low for the CPU. A CPU at least should have more than 4 ohms resistance. That 2.7 is too low for the CPU. So that tells me this CPU is dead. What about this side? 4.6. 4.6 with this CPU, still questionable. Yeah, by the way, I can tell you for sure, this CPU, I am sure it is dead because you can see there was a coil here. And before that coil, there was an IC there. And this IC which you see here got blown up. I am very sure that got blown up, then it created a short which caused an inductor which was here, then which was sent to the CPU. Here is an exact motherboard like that. So the other motherboard, this inductor has been removed. This inductor has been removed. Here we have the power supply IC, so this is a BD controller, which step down to 19 voltage, then it is passed through this, then uh, directed towards the CPU. So if this IC got blown up, it means there was a release of power, that's 19 voltage, which was released, and it went through this inductor, and then boom, into the CPU. I believe that is how the other motherboard died. So that is how you test the tantalum capacitor. And in fact, so far I have told you the behavior of the CPU when it is shorted or not. Then apart from that, we also have next is the MLCC capacitors. How do you test the MLCC capacitor? MLCC capacitors same as the rest. You put your probes against the capacitors. Then if it's peeping, there is a short. Not even peeping. If you have less resistance, there's a short. If they are OL, if the readings is OL, that is open line, it is good. Or if the readings is reading kilo ohms, still it is good. However, if the capacitor is around the CPU, that one is good. Expect to have some resistance, but not as low as less than 3 ohms resistance. Are you getting anything? Yes. If not, please rewatch again so that you can understand. Right? Yes. So next, MLCC capacitors. MLCC capacitors, we say these are ceramic capacitors, which has some multi-layered plates. This one, 4.6. Let's the rest. What about this? Can you see this? This one is oil. It means it is open line. So it's good. So this one is this one. Let me just bring it closer for you. There's a capacitor here. When I put it this way, it is oil. What about these capacitors which was applying power to? Can you see this? Yes, it is oil, meaning these ones are good. So all of them, when I tested one of them, it will represent the others because they're all in parallel. So meaning they're all connecting to one line of the power and they're all connecting to the ground. So if one of them gets shorted, the rest will behave as if they are shorted because the power line has been connected to the ground, of which all the capacitors are placed across those lines. So that is so the MLCC capacitors which are far away from the CPU should not beep. You can use it. Yes, it should have the oil. If you find them beeping, it means there's a problem. Yes, it means there's a problem. And if they are beeping around the CPU, as you can see, these ones behind, I have so many capacitors here. Can you see? I have so many MLCC capacitors, and all of them reading 4.7, which is very questionable. Then let's see this. This one was the other one which tantalum was having 13 ohms resistance. So let's see the ceramic capacitors for this. For this one, pipping with 19 ohms. The other one, pipping with 4 ohms. So in fact, less than 3. So this one is the problem. So that one tells you the CPU is dead. In fact, that is how you test for the CPU. Yes, if you have very low resistance from the CPU gone, long gone. So let's check these capacitors around the CPU. Behind here is the CPU, 3.2. Still here, CPU gone. But this one still, the CPU is still alive. Then this one, let's check the CPU for this. Side to side, pipping with 43 ohms. Here, CPU is good. We have another motherboard. Yes, here's another one for the Lenovo. Here's another one. Side to side, pipping with 10 ohms, which is good. Let's take another one. I have another than that here, and then I have another one here for the Dell. So I believe those are enough. Let's start with the Dell. Dell capacitors around the CPU, MLCC. Oh, the meter is tired. Wake up. It's left. Wake up. MLCC. Now is in the diode mode, in the resistance mode. Pipping mode. Capacitors. Pipping. 10 ohms. Good. What about the tantalum? The tantalum capacitor, 11 ohms, which is very good. Very good. What about the capacitors far away from the CPU? Like here, for example, this one. Oh well, open line. Guys, what else do you need? Huh? If you're not getting it, I don't know. You need prayers, eh? Yes. If you're not understanding, and I have tried as much as possible to explain the best of my abilities. But if you're still not getting it, yeah, you need someone to pray for you, eh? Yes. You can come, I can pray. Okay, don't worry, guys. It's just a joke, eh? But let me trust. At least you've understood something. I'm very happy that you've been patient. It took us more than 20 minutes to discuss about this capacitor. And next in our next video, maybe we had already made the video for the resistors, so we're not going to repeat that. Maybe we shall discuss about the MOSFETs. Then we also discuss about how to test the shorted IC. Yes, I know most of us we don't know, we are not we don't know how to test when the IC is shorted or not. How do you use the multimeter to confirm the IC is good or faulty? Nice. Yes. So guys, thank you so much. Let me trust you gained something today, and we shall see each other in the next video. So in case you have an issue with your laptop, please don't hesitate to send it to us. We can help you to fix that laptop of yours. We are very affordable, so don't worry. Yes, we can agree on the price. Yeah, we don't overcharge. We just charge the normal price for the repair. Again, in case you're interested in learning about laptop repairs, we also do offer courses both online and off-site. So in case you want to learn maybe in a physical module, you can contact me. Then we can make some arrangement to see how we will accommodate you in our next class. If you want also to join the online classes, you're also welcome. Just contact me. Then we will plan on logistics. Thank you so much, guys. And please, if you haven't subscribed to this video, please, guys, subscribe. Maybe one of the reason you're not understanding is because you haven't subscribed. So just click that subscribe button, then you'll understand, right? Yes. So I'll appreciate you guys. You know, when I get one subscriber, that motivates me a lot to make more videos so that I can gain more subscribers. So let's grow together as a big family. I really, really appreciate you guys. Goodbye. See you in the next video.